Good morning. It is morning. It is a Friday morning. Um, I was really excited. I have this idea that I'm going to share. I have some stuff I plan to do, and I was really excited about it. And then I sat down to do it. Here I am, ready, and um, it, it's just I get locked up. I get scared. I don't. What in the world? But it's time to plunge forward. So I have mentioned uh, I've written about uh, Erno Rubik's book, Cubed, The Puzzle of Us All. And I've talked about, I know I've talked a little bit about it. In any event, I have my copy of the book here. And it's very nice. It's an English publisher. Let's see, who is it? This is the hardcover. Wiedenfeld and Nicholson, W&N, and they have a really nice logo. You can't see that, but anyway. So I have this, and the cover is really nice. There was I think the ebook cover. When I looked on Amazon, there were two covers, and I consciously got this one because it just looked nicer on the screen, and it turns out it's even nicer because what's happened here. These are the this is a very nice cover design. This is a cube, okay, and the colors are the colors from the sides of the cube, and the there's a varnish. They used a varnish, so you can't see this, but this part is all matte. But the area of the cube has a varnish on it, and so it's each little cube is defined with the varnish, and it's a really attractive book cover. It's curious what the bland book jacket, I guess I should say. This is book jacket design. Really nice. So, and I, okay, and so here's the other thing. I have had this, call it an epiphany or something. I have a cube. This is a Rubik brand cube. This is not a counterfeit. In the book, he talks a little bit about counterfeits, and he gives them credit to a certain extent for the explosive growth of it when it first came out. And what was, I'll have to get my date straight. I won't use a date, but it was the mid 70s, I think. And so he talks about how the counterfeits, you know, he wasn't getting royalties. Ideal Toys was the manufacturer at the time, and so lots of knockoffs came out and uh, contributed to the explosive growth of it because they were everywhere. So this, however, is real Rubik's cube, and here's this is I got a copy of the book because I listened to the book and I thought there was so much that was relevant to me in my life and my creativity and my lack of getting things done and the way I worry about everything and and so here it is. So what happens in the book, uh, Erno, should I call him Erno? Dr. Rubik? I have to develop a relationship with him. My plan, for what it's worth, is I'm going to disrupt a cube and solve it. And I'm going to try to record the process of doing the solve. I think that, and a lot of what's in Cubed is about, it includes the first time that he was able to solve the puzzle and you know what that process was like. And I found everything that he was saying to be relevant. It really resonated with me. He talks about how the speed cubers, the people who can do it in you know point ones, well, not point, like 2-3 seconds. People can do a cube in 2 or 3 seconds. Um, there's another kind of competition that I'd never heard about. It's the fewest moves competition. So they'll take a cube and get it set up in a certain way, and then the competition is to use the fewest turns to be able to do a solve. So anyway, I I have this book. I have this cube, and what I'm thinking is that this cube, and I haven't turned it yet. It's still in its pristine state, but I have a feeling that an unsolved cube is a lot like my life. I I have all of these things going on around me, and my my desire is to have order, to have this, this situation. But of course, that's not the way life is. And and so I'm interested in going through this process and um, seeing what I learn. And I'm going to reread the book, and I'm going to reread the book, and I'm going to disrupt this cube, and I'm going to learn what I learned trying to solve it. I may never do it. I've tried in the past, there are these, as I say, the algorithms. If something is here, then you do this and this and this, and then it gets there, and you just keep doing the algorithms. And uh, I can't do that. That's just not the way I approach problem solving or whatever. I just can't do it. So there's that. And now the first thing I want to do, though, just an introduction from the book. I will share with you. The book is dedicated to Agnes. I don't know whether that is wife or daughter or if at first the idea is not absurd, there is no hope for it. A quote from Albert Einstein. Cubed introduction. And this is, it's just fun, and I'm going to read it. So sit back and relax. I've got my cube, and this introduction is written by the cube. Introduction. My official name is the Rubik's Cube. Cube Rubik sounds more natural to me, but nobody has really asked me about my feelings. If I were of noble blood, you could call me the Hungarian magic cube of von Rubik, but I'm not. Personally, I prefer Magic Cube because it reminds me of my childhood, but my friends just call me the Cube, and you may call me that as well. We probably have met already, since I've traveled all over the world, and many millions have touched me and been touched by me over the decades. Even if you weren't one of them, please don't worry. I never worry, by the way. You've probably seen me in the hands of people or my image sometime, somewhere, on TV screens, t-shirts, magazine covers, in movies, YouTube videos, books, as parts of tattoos, sculptures, album art, maybe in school, and I could go on and on. They say that 1 in every 7 people in the world today has played with me. That is more than 1 billion. Can you imagine? Even though you certainly have seen me, it must be strange to actually hear from me. So let me explain. You are reading a book by Rubik, the person who gave me life in 1974. There is nothing conventional about this book, especially the man who wrote it. He believes to the contrary. And it became clear while this was going on that I needed to be included. I wanted to help him tell the story because I'm its most authentic witness. He hates to write and has a poor memory. And since every puzzle has rules, here are mine. I can't think, but I can express myself. I can't read or write, but I hear a lot and I never forget. I am very simple slash complex. I am colorful and happy. I met a young Hungarian fellow a long time ago, and now we are not so young. And since then, we've been a team. Teamwork has been my life. If you've ever picked me up and played with me, you and I formed a team. And now that you are reading, we are another team. You are the reader, and me with Rubik, the writers, a group of three, as a 3 by 3 by 3. I think that number three is magical. It has such perfect symmetries. If all of this seems bizarre to you, simply relax and open your mind. As Albert Einstein said, the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. So let's play. Signed, The Cube. So that's my introduction to this little uh, adventure. And are you ready? This is the time to do it. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness, everything is. And in the book, Rubik talks about how he evolved. He talks about the the blocks of four around the corners, and he in his original solve he sort of focused on the. I think as I go through this, I'll start to outline it, so that I've got my own. I can follow the breadcrumbs that he provided. These corner pieces are critical, and getting them in place, and then he sort of works on the edges and whatever. It's not the algorithmic. It's not the kind of solution that everybody in that people write books about and that the speed cubers use. It's okay. So I got this toy here now, and it's pretty well mixed up. I could try to mix it up a little more, I guess. And I'm going to play with it. Um, and my plan is to basically record my progress and share that with anybody who cares to share it, and offer observations along the way. I'm going to go back to the book and underline some of the things that I think are really relevant, talking about play and talking about imagination and problem solving and um, and success. What is success? And here's a Rubik is a multimillionaire, uh, and at the same time, at least as I read his story, just a genuinely curious, interesting person who, money really doesn't matter to him. And um, boy, that's important in life. This whole, uh, we're in a crazy place with that. So, anyway, here it is. This is my life. Welcome to my life. Everything is crazy, and I'm on a lifelong quest to try to create order. Down in my basement, on the way up to the stairs, I have two signs, handwritten signs. And one of them, as I come toward the stairway, it says create order. I ignore it all the time, but that's where, and there's another one partway up the stairs has, I don't know if it's create order or something like that. Um, I keep talking to myself. I keep trying to pull things together in a way that it all works, and you just keep trying and keep trying. I've gone on too long. I'm going to put this up as I'm going to do this as a video in the Substack, and then there'll be a transcript, and so you can speed through it. You don't, or you can just totally ignore everything. Thank you for paying attention.